Okay, I would like to call the meeting of the September 21st Township Board of Trustees meeting at 6 o'clock. Please all put your hand on your right hand. We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Leon, will you call the roll, please?
I will. Trustee Boyden, I don't see him. I don't see Trustee Boyden. I haven't gotten any correspondence from him, so maybe he's logging on late. Trustee Miller,
Yes, here.
Trustee Martin. You know
Here.
he's here.
In
Trustee
Van Buren
Frazier.
Township.
Trustee Frazier.
Here, Van Buren Township.
Clerk Wright is here in Van Buren Township. The supervisor is absent. Chair Sherry Bud.
Here in Van Buren Township.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay, just kind of review what's on the agenda. We will have the consent agenda that will have the various board meeting minutes and some of the housekeeping items that we don't usually have to dwell in a lot about the time. We will have a correspondence and announcements, and we're going to have the presentation of the township's video. Unfinished business will be doing the second reading on two different ordinances that are concerned with toxic waste and dogs and animal control. New business will be discussing when we want to return to in-person Board of Trustees meeting, and then we will have the public and the board comment. Thank you. And at this time, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
Or
I have a motion by Trustee Frazier, support by Trustee Miller to adopt the agenda as presented. Can we have a roll call, clerk?
Yes, Trustee Boyden is in attendance.
Yes,
So we'll start off there. Trustee Boyden.
yes, here in Van Buren Township, and I vote yes.
Okay. Trustee Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Frazier.
In Van Buren, beautiful Van Buren Township, and I vote yes.
Trustee Miller.
yes.
Yes, for me. The supervisor is excused and absent. Chairman Bud.
Yes,
Motion passed.
thank you. Now, I would like to entertain a motion for the adoption of the consent agenda. Kevin, please.
To the chair. I make a motion, we adopt the consent agenda as read. Item 1, board meeting minutes of September 7th, 2021. Prepaid list of September 9, 2021. Prepaid list of September 16th, 2021. Voucher list of September 21st, 2021. Number 5, approval of the 2022 Suburban Mobility Authority for Regional Transportation, SMART contract, and authorize the supervisor and clerk to execute the agreement. Number 6, acceptance of the resignation of Helen Foster from the DDA and approve of the appointment of Delon Willis to fill the vacancy with a term to expire March 9th, 2022. Number 7, approval of the Mellencrot PLC bankruptcy plan as it pertains to ongoing opioid litigation.
Support.
I have a motion by Trustee Martin, support by Clerk Wright to adopt the consent agenda. Just kind of as we don't usually do any discussion, but I think I would just like to mention that we certainly are going to miss Helen Foster in her role as part of the DDA, and she's been in township government for years. She's meant so much to this community, and she's done a lot to support the various activities. So I personally want to thank Helen for all she's done and for all the work she's done for Van Buren Township. And I have worked with Delon Willis on the Civic Fund, and I think they would like getting to know her. So Helen, thank you. And Delon, thank you for your willingness to serve also. Okay, can we have a roll call vote, clerk?
Yes. Trustee Martin.
Yes.
Yes, by me also. Trustee Frazier.
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
trustee Boyne,
Yes.
supervisor is excused and absent. Treasurer Bud,
Yes,
motion passes.
thank you. Okay, we have no public hearing. Now it's time for correspondence or presentations or announcements. And the only announcement I have is that the Van Buren Township Parks and Recreation Department is doing a used costume drive and costume giveaway. So if you have a Halloween costume that you can donate, fine. They can be dropped off at the Park and Recreation Department Monday through Friday from 7 to 4:30. And the giveaway will be on October the 18th through the 22nd if you happen to need one. So, and if you have any questions, you can call the park at 699-8921. Thank you very much. And Mr. Salmon, are you out there with the State of the Township video?
Hold on, Sherry, I got a quick one.
Oh, I'm sorry, Clerk
That's
Wright.
okay. Yeah, I just would like to announce that next Tuesday is National Voter Registration Day, September 28th. So please remember, if you are new to the community or you recently turned 18 or will turn 18 soon, make sure you register or update your voting status to your new address. And also, I would like to just echo what Treasurer Bud said to earlier in regards to Helen Foster and the DDA. I wish her all the health and our best wishes going forward. She's done a lot for the community, as Treasurer Bud stated, and she will be missed and will never forgotten. So congratulations also. Now you can go to the video.
Okay, Mr. Salmon, are you out there?
I will go ahead and get the video started myself. This is Ryan.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan, thank you.
No problem.
Good afternoon. I'm Kevin McNamara, and I am the supervisor of Van Buren Township.
And this year has been a challenge, but I think we've worked through that challenge. It has just always been my honor to serve the people that I live with and work with and have raised my family with. So it's always been something that I've been very proud of.
But really what we do is we look at the community and we look at their needs and we try to meet those needs.
We get to know our constituents. So things that we do at the township board meeting, you see the effects of it right away. You don't have to wait years to see the effect.
There's all kinds of things you can do here. Shop, eat, celebrate. We have everything. Van Buren Township is home.
Everybody rose when we needed them to hit the ground hard and get something done. Everybody did a great job making things happen. 2020 started out a great year. So much hope, so much promise. And then we were shut down and we were confused. We had no idea what was going to happen. And then we were forced to transform. It was no longer the poor that needed food. It was the middle class that suddenly needed food. Sickness, fear, death. We've lost probably over 80 people in our tri-community area. It was a life-changing year.
We saw people hurting from, losing their jobs, not being able to work, not being able to pay the rent.
We started seeing some of those economic trends, and that translated to what ended up being a roughly 20% drop in permits. But we also know that it just led to things being more complicated all around. What homeowners have to deal with, what contractors have to deal with, what renters have to deal with, and what we as office staff had to do to make things work.
We had to go home right away. We had to cancel all of our activities. We had to cancel all of our events. We were telling people to stay home and stay apart, which is not a motto that any Parks and Rec department would ever want to put out to their public.
We also had to deal with trying to continue operations because our work didn't end.
We would never have gotten through this without IT. We had to completely rework the way we did business.
fast forward on getting as many people set up as possible that had mobile devices. Those that didn't, we started the process of ordering mobile devices for folks that we knew had to connect from home to our network and do their work on a daily basis.
We had the technology here, which really provided us with an opportunity to do something very different than many other communities were doing. A number of other communities were simply shutting down operations. We continued to work.
We had to change our protocols, we had to change our procedures to adapt with CDC guidelines that were changing sometimes weekly, bi-weekly.
Not only with this community, but I know it was a lot of other communities, was just the uncertainty. You can go to sleep, you think you're under one thing this morning, next morning it's a totally different thing. So we were constantly shifting gears.
Fire department was stretched thin. Police department was stretched thin. Our remote services were working, but again, stretched thin. The safety net of food, medicine, all these things that they contacted us to say, listen, we need these things desperately. They used to fall off on the health department. They fall off on the county. Not in this time. The locals had to set up the food drives.
We had an opportunity to partner with Forgotten Harvest and host a pop-up food pantry, which we were able to do right outside Township Hall.
That was something that really was disheartening to see how long the lines were. You know, people hurting when they sit in a line for hours and hours.
And people were just having a very difficult time financially making ends meet. All the penalties for late fees would be waived during this time. In the past, we in this country have stepped forward and done the hard things and done the right things. We started looking out for our neighbors, and sometimes, unfortunately, it takes these types of situations such as pandemics to be reminded. As a water operator, I have a moral and ethical responsibility to the residents and to our customers. Try to provide the best, most affordable, and proper service levels for them.
And we never thought we could do it. 2 months into this, 3 months into this, I still thought it was going to be hopeless, but we did it. We actually provided 100% services to the residents of Van Buren Township, and we were able to do it remotely.
And those are the things that you do in a community. Those are the things that you're supposed to do when everybody's in need. You're supposed to try your best, if you can, to help those people in need.
We were able to put together these really fun insect kits for the kids, and we gave away 100 kits within like 10 minutes.
Oh, they've got another little rock here. But they found ways to get kits out to kids so that they could actually create their own fun.
One thing that we did was do a township-wide mask giveaway.
We've really stayed on track with continuing momentum on positive development in the township. For example, the Ashley Crossroads North project is going to be a major center for jobs and new businesses.
Getting that COVID preparedness plan together, it really showed that they live in a township that is proactive. It also helped me, the REAL program. As long as we followed that guideline, it made everything a lot easier for everyone.
I was lucky I was able to reach out and get some work with an organization and get tours during the holiday. You really saw how much effect it had on the community then.
The DDA built the splash pad at Quirk Park, the pedestrian overpass where we got grant money for that, and also the Harris Park project, and we did those all in the same year.
We renovated the existing Harbor Club tennis courts into Van Buren Township's tennis and pickleball outdoor courts.
We were able to take our system, do a complete analysis of our entire system, make sure that we're going to be on a proper schedule for the next 10 to 20 years.
We had our new website that was being built out right at the height of the pandemic.
We ran a major election in the middle of a pandemic with no instances. Nobody got sick.
And our inspectors learned how to do remote inspections.
It also jump-started our transitioning to online permitting. A contractor can link with the township and get registered and apply for permits right online.
We had staff in here to make sure the bills got collected, got deposited, and people would know that their accounts had been credited with what they had paid.
Our senior center wellness calls, they have Medicare, they have their tax services. And we're not even talking about the vaccination effort, which was Herculean.
We accomplished more in that 7-8 month period in 2020 being down than I think we did the whole year before.
And we're so excited about building a new community center. It's going to give us new spaces, new opportunities, getting past this pandemic, right? Being safe, having fun, staying healthy, and also learning something new. So that's what we're looking forward to. But it all comes back to engaging the public.
And starting to reinvest into Lakewood Shopping Center, the Sumter Road Corridor, starting to put some things that are on paper right now into practice.
And then just the fact that we've kept business open and moving has been important.
I love my job. I go to sleep at night knowing that what I do matters for people. And we get to do a lot of exciting things here in Van Buren Township.
It's pretty amazing to see the township grow. I mean, before I was here, we didn't even have a water tower.
This year has been a challenge, but I think we've worked through that challenge. It has just always been my honor to serve the people that I live with and work with and have raised my family with. So it's always been something that I've been very proud of. And just knowing that I walk by the parks or I go out by the pickleball court and I had a very, very, very small part in seeing that got there. That's important to me.
The residents of Van Buren Township deserve to have a community that's healthy, vibrant, and has a little bit of everything for everyone.
This is a very tight-knit community, and they really pulled together and showed that they are Van Buren strong.
It's been truly a pleasure to get to know people from all over the township.
I think there's a good future ahead for Van Buren Township. It's stay the course and keep the vision of becoming a community that really is for the 21st century.
Over the last 20 years, the township has significantly changed physically, but the heart of the community hasn't changed. I think it's still just as special as it was when I first came here.
It really is a very diverse community, and anyone out there that's looking for somewhere that they want to settle and raise a family, try Van Buren Township.
Through all the trials and tribulations, Van Buren Township is still here. Our staff work together, our electeds work together, and our residents work together. That's our biggest accomplishment.
I just want to say thank you to Van Buren Township. Thank you for working with us, and thank you for being there for each other. As a township, we reach out and we try so hard to offer, different amenities and offer services to the public, but we really need the whole community to come together to help each other. And we're very thankful to be here and be a part of that.
I love my job, and I'm so proud of my community.
Perfect. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right.
That's a very good end note.
Okay, good. All right.
All right.
Well, welcome back. Very well done. I would like to thank Ryan Nichols and our communication people and Alicia Albright for all they did. I know that Ryan spent a lot of nights up getting it edited and getting it all put together and making sure that everybody got a piece and got a part of it. It wasn't easy for him, I'm sure, but you know what? Both of them have done a beautiful job of presenting to the community, and I hope they all get to watch it.
Yeah, through the chair, Ryan, Alicia, that is one top-notch video. I've been saying that ever since last week when I first saw it. That's probably one of the best videos that I've ever seen. We might want to put that out for the publicist somewhere, but it's very well done, very well stated, and you can tell everybody said what they said, speaking from the heart, and that's what's most important about it that I see. So, great job.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, now we're going to move on to, is there anybody out there that has a public comment on the unfinished or new business?
Good evening, board. Thank you so much for the kind comments about the video. We had a lot of fun doing it. And yes, Treasurer Butt is correct. Ryan spent lots of nights doing it. So yeah, thank you very much for the kind words. We do have Stephen Dark has a comment about in-person meetings. I hope to see the township return to in-person meetings very soon. It's time to put the beautiful new boardroom back to good use. And we also have a comment from John Delaney. He has his hand raised. I'm gonna allow him to talk. John, you should be able to, yep, sorry, unmute yourself. I just muted you by asking, try to do it again. And you should be good to go. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me, board?
Yes.
Okay, well, the first thing I want to bring to attention, because I happen to be in the township hall today, and this is actually going to fall underneath correspondence, but it will dovetail into the public comment on the unfinished or new business. First thing issue is that on my visit today, I noticed a couple things, but the first thing I want to say now is, and it's more of a complaint, that I came in there to talk about a few things and could not get a hold of any of our elected officials because Sherry, you were in a meeting with Sean, some Zoom meeting somewhere. The clerk wasn't around, and obviously Kevin is in Mackinac City or Mackinac Island or wherever the heck he's at up there. So at the end of the day, one of the things I was trying to do as an official on the Local Development Finance Authority is I wanted to speak under correspondence, which, since we're in this phone a friend Zoom call stuff, which I'm adamantly against on certain issues, just like right now, that I was not able to afford to raise my hand. That's been, since you did the Pledge of Allegiance, my hand's been up, which I could have got your attention in an in-person meeting to say, hey, there's some correspondence from the LDFA. So I'm kind of flabbergasted that we're staying in this Zoom phone a friend stuff when everybody else, including Van Buren Township Public Schools, has their board meetings in person, and it would have alleviated this issue that I have. Now, I want to go right into the correspondence portion and say, on behalf of the Van Buren Township Local Development Finance Authority, as second vice chair, I and we would like to thank all of the Van Buren Township administrators and staff for all their work and contributions to put together for the 9/11 memorial that was out at Grace Lake this last Saturday. We want to thank you for your hard work in the communications department, in both Leon's office, Treasurer Bud's office, planning department, including communications, a lot to do with communications in Dan Selman. So these kudos are going out on behalf of the total LDFA and under correspondence, not under public comment.
Thank you, John.
That it?
Well, that's it. That's under the correspondence. Now, if I can say something under the public comment, am I invited to do that, or do I need to raise my hand again? Because I'm computer illiterate here.
John, you just need to talk on any agenda item at this time, and if you have something later that needs to come after.
No, this is on the agenda item, new business discussion on the returning in-person board meetings. And actually, excuse me. Okay, thank you. I just dovetailed it as part of my correspondence that this snafu wouldn't have happened if we were having an in-person meeting. Now, what had happened also when I was there today is I asked for and received from our deputy clerk that was gracious enough to give me a walkthrough to see where $130 some odd thousand went to a boardroom that nobody gets to see. I get to see it over the phone a friend view behind Clerk Leon, right? But that's a camera shot. So the idea that we have this fabulous board meeting room that is still unused is just flabbergasting alone. Now, I know some of the excuses were, well, we don't know how to handle the control of how many people are going to show up. And the other excuse in the past was, well, there's only 1 or 2 people that ever show up to the thing. So that's telling me right there that we can't have a problem with the audience and too many people because not too many people ever show up. So there's one reason why we should have it. The second reason again is we spent 130 some odd thousand or more for a beautiful room that's not being used yet. So I would ask and interject under this discussion that you are going to have, that you don't vote on it today and that you give it another month and listen to the public, because I have listened to the public. I was in a local store yesterday, actually it was this morning, and two ladies asked me an issue. And one of the issues was I couldn't answer because I was illiterate on the computer, and I had to actually graciously ask Matt Best to show me how to use this fancy phone that I got to do what you guys are doing. Because when I went to high school in the 70s, we didn't have computers where you're using in school now. I was on the boots on the ground, hands in the dirt, construction worker to this day. I still don't use computers. Now, does that make me ignorant? Maybe so. But at the end of the day, if I walked into that board meeting at 6 o'clock and sat down and waited to get my hand called or to put out a fire before the meeting started so I wouldn't be looking embarrassed as the correspondence portion, it would have all came together in a live board meeting that's in person. So I ask that you take into consideration this discussion tonight. Don't vote on it tonight. Give it another 30 days. And maybe your constituents will be making some comments, just like I was told today at a grocery store. The third thing is there are some public officials not in that building. We have 4 elected trustees. Unless we're watching this meeting right now, this phone a friend stuff, there is no chance at a one-on-one, because the community is not getting the complete representation to their constituents that we deserve. That we have to track you down at a 9/11 meeting, or we have to track you down at a corn roast or something to talk to you, because if we show up at your house, we'd be considered stalking you. So at the end of the day, something needs to give where our elected officials are more available, not the 3 that I could go knocking on the doors Monday through Friday on Tyler Road. But we have 4 trustees that actually make up the bigger of the quorum that are unavailable 98% of the time.
That's not true.
That is true, Reggie. I sent you a text message today, didn't get an answer. Sherry Fraser sent a text message today, didn't get an answer. So how does the constituent get a hold of their elected officials on a regular basis without
You can call me, John. You have my number, just like you sent a text.
And excuse me, pardon me. I'm sorry. I have to strongly disagree with that as far as not being able to be contacted.
I don't even
hold on a second. Hold on. Now, I know this is your time and I do not want to impinge on anything. But just hold still. Hold still. This is the beauty of having a Zoom meeting. We can go back and forth, all right? But this is the thing. I very much so disagree with that. I have a phone number that is out and it's public. It's also on the website. I have had a number of residents give me a call and ask me questions, and I have given them a resolution, or I have directed them to someone that will give them a resolution. And if I could not resolve it, then I directed them to a source that could give them some type of satisfaction.
And that's what you're
I hold on a second. I'm not done yet. Hold on.
Well, this diatribe.
I completely disagree with you saying that the other 4 board members are 98% of the time unreachable. That's not not sitting well.
Well, we can agree to disagree.
That's not sitting well. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. They can't understand either one of us. They can't understand either one of us. They can't understand either one of us. I am almost done.
Miss Chair?
Point of order,
Chair.
Point of order.
To be interrupted anymore.
Point of order.
It's a live meeting.
Chairwoman, this is not, I'm sorry.
Gentlemen.
Point of order.
Just 1 minute. Let's stop.
Point of order is I have the floor still. When did I lose it?
All right, John.
When did I lose the floor?
John, You have a short time left. Please continue.
Right. And so instead of being interrupted again, because you guys have all the control, you got the mute buttons and everything else, I'm saying that these township board meetings need to be in person. We need to be able to talk about it because again, you can't see my face right now. You don't know if I'm happy or sad or anything else, but you would see the people sitting in the front row if there was an issue in an in-person meeting. This is another reason why I am connecting to this board right now to saying that the constituents in this township are not being completely served by having these phone a friend meetings all the time. It's been 18 months. Let's open this room up. The $100,000 or more that we spend in that room, let's get to use it. I won't go any further than that right now.
Good.
Thank you. And you know what? We will get into that room. We know we spent the money there. We spent time in there and we will get there again when this thing is under control. All right, moving on.
Through the chair, I'm sorry. We also have a public comment from a Brandon Hole.
Okay.
Brandon, you are now able to talk. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Great, thank you. Thanks for letting me comment. Yeah, my name is Brandon Houle. I'm with the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. I'm a harm reduction analyst with the viral hepatitis unit. And I just wanted to make a quick comment on the on the ordinance change regarding syringes. And, I just wanted to say, how uplifting that video was. That was really cool to see. I really appreciate the privilege of being able to see that and see the community come together and, look out for each other. And, it's also, I guess back to the ordinance I was going to comment on, that's really uplifting too. And just to see you considering that. It seems like a small thing. I know it's a lot to consider, but and that alone is definitely not going to solve the overdose crisis or anything like that. But it's a big thing in that I think it really shows the genuine compassion that you all have for all of your community members. Regardless of the behaviors they're engaging in. I think even just considering it is just real demonstration of love and compassion. And we here at the viral hepatitis unit, we've partnered with SOAR. They're one of our trusted partners, and if that does go through, we put our full faith in them. They'll be truly an asset to your community. They're assets to the other communities they serve. And SOAR's just been a really great partner, SOAR and Valerie. And so, just really cool to see. I just wanted to say that you're all considering this. And with that, I will give over the mic.
Thank you, sir.
Through the
Is there any-
chair.
Yes.
Yes, we have quite a few. I'm going to promote Trisha Duckworth next. Trisha, you
Okay.
should be able to unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. So happy to be here with you all tonight, and just wanted to come on and just say thank you. I'm gonna have to echo Brandon's words and just say thank you for even the consideration of this program. So many times, individuals that suffer with addiction, are looked down upon, frowned upon, and just even the consideration of this program and what it could mean to the community. We just want to say thank you. Valerie is not on tonight because she is actually doing a CCAR reduction, CCAR training. And so she just wanted to say thank you and her apologies for not being here. But again, I just want to share a small story with you because with SOAR also being a prevention agency, there are so many other things to offer the community, the children, being able to serve the children of people that are in our programs and being able to connect people through our referral program to different services that they may need. And as we stated in the last meeting, it's so much more than just a harm reduction program. It's meeting people where they are. When we do that, that in itself brings so much value to them, right? Because we're looking at them as who they truly are, a person. And sometimes people don't treat individuals like that. And so again, I don't want to go on and on. I get emotional talking about this because we truly believe in the work. We're grateful for the partnership with the state and being able to do this work. And we hope, it is our hope that we're able to do this work here in Van Buren Township as well. And just thank you all.
Thank you. Do you have someone else, Alicia?
We do, yes, great,
Okay.
thank you. Next we have Ashley Shukite. Ashley, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hi everyone, long time no see. I'm so thankful for the video and just how much dedication each one of you have had to the community. It really has meant the world to me with all the efforts and support for mutual aid and the 48111 and just really looking at this in a way that we can be proactive and really focusing on our assets and our gaps. And I want to support SOAR in their efforts for their harm reduction program. It's really a focus on health-centered approaches to drug use. That's improving so many measures, you know, from my own personal experience and going through all of this and having a harm reduction program in my community and being able to receive services but not be judged and be able to have that focus on my personal health, my employment, my social relationships, just general well-being has helped me not only live, you know, through this as we're losing so many in our community, but also really advance and be able to help others. And so I hope tonight when you consider this ordinance, you're looking at not the behavior in itself, but how much benefit the community could have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alicia,
Sherry?
did- yep.
Yep. We just have one more comment from Kathleen Klein in the chat that says, what a lovely video, excellent. And then I do not see any more hands raised at this time.
Thank you.
Treasurer, can I make a motion to open discussion on, even though there's been a lot of it, and to consider approval of the second and final reading of ordinance 0907-21 and amendment of section 58-297 of Division 5 Controlled Substances and Toxic Chemicals of Article 5 offenses against public morale of Chapter 58 offense open paren offenses and miscellaneous provision of the General Code of Ordinances.
Support.
I'm sorry, who supported that?
I
I
did.
did.
Okay, Don, okay.
No, I did. I ain't gonna let y'all keep taking me out of my support.
Okay. I have a motion.
I can't get that today, and I support it.
I have a motion by Trustee Miller, support by Clerk Wright, to approve the second reading of ordinance 0907-21. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, would you call?
I'd like to echo what some of the people said that made their statement. They're absolutely correct. That, you know, we keep talking about we want to be that premier community, but being a premier community means that we offer services that premier communities offer, which means we reach out and help everyone, not just some, but everyone, no matter who that person may be. I'm from the old school, and I'm not afraid to say it. Old school, I believe that it takes a village to raise a family, and this is called community work. And this is what we are supposed to be doing. It's easy to be reactive, but to be proactive means that you're really moving towards that premier community. So I'm very ecstatic to support this motion tonight, because that means that we're moving forward in a positive direction.
Same here.
Thank you. Clerk, would you now call the roll, please?
I will. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
Yes for me. Trustee Frazier.
Yes.
Trustee Martin.
Yes.
Trustee Boyden,
Yeah.
the supervisors are absent and excused. Chairperson Bud,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. All right. Unfinished business item number 2, discussion and to consider approval of the second and final reading of ordinance 9/7/21, parent 2. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair.
Yes.
I make the motion to discuss and consider approval of the second and final reading of ordinance 0907-21, parentheses 2, the adoption of section 14 through 37 of Division 1, generally of the Article 2, dogs of Chapter 14, animals, and the General Code of Ordinances.
Support.
I have a motion by Clerk Wright, support by Trustee Frazier to approve the second reading. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Trustee Boyden,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
Trustee Frazier,
Yes.
Trustee Martin.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yes for me. Supervisor absent and excused. Chairperson Bud,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us up to new business and its discussion on returning to in-person Board of Trustee meetings. I would not be opposed to continuing like we're doing till the end of October and then maybe looking at it again rather than voting on it tonight. But that would be the pleasure of this board. But we could do that and see if changes. Right now, Wayne County has extended the emergency till the end of the year, which would allow us to do that. But we have had a resident request that. I don't have a problem if we would like to continue another month and then vote on it at the end of October. Your pleasure.
Through the chair, I could do either way. I mean, we could go another month. We only really have 2 more board meetings on book before the end of the year. We have 2 in October and I think 1 in December. Is it 1 or 2? Maybe 2 or 4, 3 or 4. But I would be willing to do that and bring it back up again in the first meeting in November. It's okay with me. I truly just for a personal my personal quarter. I've always through this pandemic, you guys hear me say the same thing over and over again. I am following the science, I'm following the CDC, I follow my OSHA, and whatever they think is best for us to do, that's what I'm going to follow. I think I'm doing my job when I look out for the citizens of this township and including the board of directors. I've said over and over again, I'm not a follower. I consider myself a leader, and leaders do what's necessary to uphold and look out for the safety of their community. And I do take what my constituents say, and I analyze what they say, and I make I consider a informational decision based on what I know, what they say, and what the best thing to do for the community. I believe in this virus. I believe this virus is real. It's here. It has exceeded the rate of the Spanish flu of 1918 and 1919, and they didn't have any help. They had to reach herd immunity to stop it. We have a vaccine to get rid of it, and we're still battling it, and we're not done with it. So, I mean, to me, it's just as clear as it is. It's still day outside. We have to do what we have to do to make sure we stay safe. That means the board, and that means we stay on video until our state say that it's good to move in a positive direction one way or the other. That's what we do. But I'm also willing to make some adjustments. And I can veer to the right and say I'll wait until November. That doesn't mean that I'm going to change my mind, though. So I'm open also.
Through the chair,
Yes, Reggie.
I'm not opposed to waiting until November before this comes back up, but there was some comments made that I'm going to correct. I am available to our residents 24/7. Now, some of the comments made by Mr. Delaney about how the trustees aren't available 98% of the time is simply untrue. John, I did get your text. I did discuss it with other board members as much as I could reach. So we took into effect what you say, like we do with all members of the community. But to say that we're not available 98% of the time is so unfair, John. I've known you for a good while now. So my days go back to public safety when I first met you, and you know that I'm available to you. So to take this one text that I don't know if he sent it to the rest of the board members, but I certainly got it. But to say that 98% of the time we're not reachable, that's so untrue. My number is 734-883-9650. My text is on all the time. My email address at the township, anyone could reach me. I have people coming to my home. So where that's coming from, and I know the rest of the board is very active in the community, is so unfair to the rest of the trustees. Now, we'll bring this back, but we listen. We listen to all your concerns. I have no qualms about bringing it back up in another month. Will my opinion change? My opinion's always open to change. So how it stands today, if something could come up tomorrow, and yeah, I can change my mind. But I'm willing to be open, but I'm also protective of this board, this township, and all the people that are affected by COVID.
Thank you, Reggie. Any other comments?
Well said. Very well said.
Yeah. And I will say that also, I was in my office all day. We were on a Zoom conference with the Michigan Municipal Treasurers, but I was there. If there'd have been an emergency or somebody dire needed me, it would have been nothing for someone from my staff to say, "Are you there?" I was there, and I would have gladly spoke to him because, we can put on mute and we learn and we go along. So I think there was always somebody there that he could have talked to, but for right now, that's not important. Okay. So what is the decision that the board would like to make? And do I have someone want to make a motion?
There's no motion tonight. It's just discussion, but I say we bring this back in a month and we revisit it. I'm not opposed to that.
All right. Why don't you just make a motion, Reggie, to cover it?
Okay, I make a motion to bring this back the first week in November at our first meeting in November.
I support that.
Okay, I have a motion by Trustee Miller, support by Clerk Wright, that we will bring this item of returning to in-person Board of Trustee meetings, the first meeting in November. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, when you call the roll, please.
Yes, Trustee Miller?
Yes.
Yes for me. Trustee Martin?
Yes.
Trustee Boyne?
Yes.
Trustee Frazier?
Yes.
Again, the supervisor is absent and excused. Chairperson Bud? Cherry?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Do we have anybody out there that wants to make public comment on non-agenda items?
Through the chair, yes, we do. Trisha, looks like she has her hand raised. Trisha, go for it. You should be able, yep, perfect.
Thank you. I just wanted to, because I'm not sure, I know that different counties and the municipalities are getting ARP funding. And so I just wanted to know if there was anything that could be done to help the broadband connection out here. And I don't know what it is, and we fought hard against it in Washtenaw County, but I do see the value of broadband if there aren't more pressing issues. And then also, the structures here in Parkwood, they're not good. Every time it rains down my basement walls, and puddles gather in my basement. They've done everything to patch it. Well, the old owners, property management company did, but I just don't know if there's anything that can be done about that, or if there's any type of pressure that could be applied to the property. I think it's the owner, to be honest, that the pressure needs to be applied to, because there's so much that needs to be fixed out here. And from the last property management company to this current one, everybody says the same thing. They can only do so much. Well, we know the owner has to do it. And I do not think that it is being a good steward to allow him, and it's not you all's HUD, but to allow him to continue to get money for these apartments, and he is not willing to do the work that needs to be done. There's mold. Floors are separated, so there's nothing under the floor. It creaks, the boards are, caving in. There's just a lot that is going on out here. And I just wanted to kind of stay on to say that, because I know 9 times out of 10, sometimes you guys don't know that, because when you come around, probably they'll make everything look great. But, we just want to tell you the real deal of what's really, really going on out here, because it is not okay. And as a matter of fact, the old maintenance man, he was being vindictive because he must have gotten fired. But he knocked on my door and he said, hey, I've got papers to prove that Mishta required certain things of this owner that they didn't fix. So I begged him to come to you all, to come to Mr. McNamara and tell what the information, but he wanted to use it as leverage to get some kind of payout. But this man does have proof of everything that I'm saying. All of the apartments out here that have mold, all of the leaks, and everything that goes on. So I just wanted to make it aware to you all, because again, I know that sometimes that stuff is hidden. And thank you so much for your listening ear.
Thank you. I will pass that on and see what we can do, and I will have someone contact you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. If you could call into the office in the morning and give someone your phone number, we'd appreciate that.
Thank you. We also have a hand raised from John Delaney.
Okay.
John, you should be able to talk.
Okay, first I'd like to say thank you, board, for your action of non-action today. And what I will do in this time frame between the next time you visit this is the constituents of yours that have contacted me, I will have their voices heard or tell them to contact you. Because if some of you remember right, I think it would be only Reggie and Leon. Back in 2010, when we were going through some problems, and then a little bit later when Reggie came on board, is that I was getting phone calls and knocks on my doors, and I had nothing to do with the township other than be a resident and a taxpayer on Sunday evenings and Saturday mornings and such. So I became that focus and that conduit. Well, I'm still that way now. And when little old ladies stop me in a grocery store and ask me, are you that guy that was given a lot of grief back in blah, blah, blah days? I say, yes, ma'am. What's your problem? And I brought you that problem tonight. I'm not the only one. And you will be hearing plenty more that would like to get back in that building. But moving forward, I have to say that I heard the lamestream media say this same thing earlier today by our fake stream media, that the Spanish flu, that the COVID virus has killed more people. The idea of the fake stream media that put that information out that some of our board members heard was only that back when the Spanish flu came about, there was only 20 million people in the United States. There's over 300 million people in the United States now. So if you do the math, the numbers don't jive. The numbers moved a lot more people in the United States with not as many people that died. It's just like a little bitty apartment. You have 25 people in an apartment and 6 people die in that apartment. That's a lot of numbers. But if you have 1,000 people move into that apartment and only 15 die, then you can't use those skewed numbers anymore. So I just hope that the comments made by the fake stream media are not brought up anymore. The last point that I'm going to say is that when I made the comment about unavailability of our elected officials, it still stands true, because somebody doesn't want to chase you down in a grocery store or knock on your door. We have this beautiful building that keeps getting bigger and bigger down there, even though it's like putting lipstick on a pig, because it's the same building that my mom worked in 1967. We just keep adding on to it. But the idea to come to a board meeting to discuss an issue, and even the work studies you guys are getting rid of now, you're cutting down your constituents' voices that we have to try to track you down. We shouldn't have to do that. We know where you are at 6 o'clock in the evening and you get to see us. Because right now, none of you board members get to see what I'm doing. I could be standing on my head for all that matters. You don't get to see the passion. All you get to see is the voice, whether it's authoritative or combative or whatever, which wouldn't be that way by yelling into this phone when I would be standing in that podium and being respectful. And at that time, I don't think I would have been talked down to either. But on a phone, people can take more liberties towards the speaker. So I would just like to say that the constituents need to see more of our elected officials other than a corn roast or a 9/11 memorial or tracking you down at a Myers or a Walmart or or a gas station. Maybe you need to start having, like the cops used to have, coffee with cops. Maybe we need to start seeing our constituents at some local diner so we can contribute our money to that diner and help them financially, but then we can also get some answers. Because before the top blows off of things, you as elected officials can stop issues before they get out of hand. And when they start boiling over into grocery stores and gas stations on the side of the road, then you've lost it. You've lost the communication network that you would have had somebody been able to come down to the township hall on a scheduled time at 6 o'clock and bring up something on agenda or get the few comments in on a work study. That's all I have to say, and thank you.
Thank you, John.
Through the chair, I think that Mr. Delaney makes some good points, and we definitely should really consider moving back to in-person board meetings.
Well, as you know, we will look at that again at the first meeting in November. Okay, is there anyone else from the public that has any comments, Alicia?
Through the chair. Through the chair, Treasurer, if I may.
Yes.
I want to, first of all, thank John Delaney for putting on the 911 event this past Saturday. He put a lot of time and effort, and he should be recognized and acknowledged for his contributions. I know what it takes to run any event. I've run many of them myself, and it's thankless work. It's hard work, and he did a great job. I want to thank Helen Foster for all her contributions to our community. This woman has done so much. All of you know her contributions for the years and years of service she has given. But I also want to thank Valon Willis, who's stepping up to fill the vacancy. That's important too. Thank you for volunteering. And if you'd like to volunteer, please contact the township. We have a board, committee, or commission that a position that needs to be filled.
As you know, she is going on the planning commission.
Oh, she's not.
No, I'm sorry. She's going on the DDA.
Right. Yes.
It's going to be a DDA member. Right.
Right. But you still need to thank Ms. Willis.
And Reggie, you were also right. The memorial service was very well done. Thank you, John Delaney. I know you worked hard on it. There were a lot of representatives there, and it went very nice. So it was a very nice day. Okay, now we're moving to do any other board members have comments on non-agenda items?
Through the chair.
Yes, clerk.
Yeah, I'd like to recognize John Delaney too for doing the work that he did. That's a positive thing for the community. I think he does good when he stay on that track. Also, would like to reiterate that the media is not fake. News is where we get our information from, and they are 100% correct. It has nothing to do with numbers. They gave us a total number of people that lost their lives during that time, and now it has nothing to do with population. Numbers don't lie. It's numbers versus numbers. So we have surpassed that number. The media is there to do exactly what I said, is to give you the information. You have to listen to it and use it. Also, I just came out of Myers on my way home from work. John, you see me all the time when you come to Township Hall. Just because I'm not there 5 minutes when you walk in the door, don't mean that I'm not there. But you have my phone number, you use it any other time. You could have simply called me. I could have been in the back or anywhere. But anyway, that's something else to be said. I just came out of Myers. People stopped me in Myers also. I see board members all over the place. I see Trustee Boyne. I just saw Trustee Martin at a function. I see Reggie Miller all over the place. I see Trustee Frey. We all go to functions, and our constituents see us. They see us in Myers. They see us in CVS, Walmart, wherever we are, and they reach out. Don't think they don't reach out and touch us, just like they reach out and touch you. But that's to be said. Don't mean that the board members are not doing their job or they can't be reached by the constituents, because that's just simply is not true. People that want to get in touch with us, get in touch with us, and I'll be willing to hear from anyone that wants to talk to me about the board meeting. Again, we're here to keep the public safe, and if that means doing Zoom meetings until we think it's safe, that's what we should do. Until we get to that point where we think it's time to go back. This is no joke, people. I mean, I don't care what nobody say. This virus is for real. It's still out there. I love that. I love the video the commercial that the three ministers done in the Wayne County area, especially the last one. He said it all. This virus for real. If it hit you wrong, you're gone. And that's no joke. If you haven't been affected by it, you're blessed. I have. I just came from a funeral and then found out that two other classmates had just lost their lives from the battle from the COVID. So if it hasn't affected you personally, I commend you. Thank you. You're blessed. But it has. I've seen the grief on the other side of it also, John Delaney. I've seen what it has done to people's lives. People that was just as. But I just talked to a person today. The person they lost a worker, 32 years old. They thought was healthy, just surpassed from COVID. And if anybody don't think it's real, then you're kidding yourself. It's real as I'm sitting here in front of the board panel. So I don't know what else to say. I had just had a conversation with my doctor yesterday, my 6-month follow-up. He's also told me, he said, Clerk Wright, I know you're an elected official. He said, but don't let anyone tell you that any doctor is recommending not to take this vaccine. I don't know a doctor that's saying don't take the vaccine. He said, I just want you to know that we are not saying that. So everybody has the right to make their own decision. But when it affects someone else, you lose that right. Again, you have the right to make your own choices in this world, this country that we call the United States. Everybody's free to make so many other decisions that not made in other countries. But when your decision affects the health and well-being of someone else, then you lose that right. Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing no other comments, motion to adjourn.
Is there any more comments?
Whoa. I do.
Oh, I'm sorry, Don.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. First and foremost, I believe in giving credit where credit is due. And John Delaney is certainly due much kudos to the 9/11 commemoration. Absolutely. For the other comment that I have to make, I agree with Trustee Miller. I agree with Clerk Wright in all the things that they have said. We can take a look at this at a later time, but first and foremost, this pandemic is real. The press is correct in doing its job in giving us the information that we need. I'm not going to beleaguer this. I'm not going to go on about this, but what he said is true. If you are hit with this the wrong way, you're gone. I don't know of any other flu viruses or cold viruses or anything else that has had such an effect that this has had. It's killed 675,000 people plus. And just because we live in a day and age where we have ready access to this information, it doesn't mean that we should act foolishly. By no means. That's it.
Thank you. All right.
Is there, if Trish, if I may, Treasurer, but Trish, if you're still on the line, can you post your question?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was typing it. I wanted to reiterate on just the conditions out here and just wondering if the owner won't help bring these homes up to code, could ARP funds be used to assist and bring these apartments? I mean, in my opinion, these need to be torn down. The foundation is gone. They had a company, and I just want to really be clear, they had a company to come out because I kept getting back up in the basement, and it was horrible. I lost so much here, family heirlooms from my grandmother that I can never get back. And they have not done anything. They dug in the basement, and the lady told me herself, ma'am, this is unsafe. They had to bring in what do they put under the ground there? Rocks and all kind of stuff. They had to bring that in before they could even put concrete down, and they didn't anticipate that. And that's just how horrible it is. And I know with these ARP funds, that is something that could definitely be used to really help change people's lives and even help to end generational poverty here in Van Buren Township. There's so many different programs that could help change people's lives, meeting people where they are at. And it's just my hope that with some of this funding, if you all have any, we could do that. Along with other things. Like I told them in Washtenaw County, broadband is important, but it doesn't take precedence over people's lives and the needs of the community and those who suffered most. We all suffered during COVID, right? But those who are low income and poor, living in impoverished conditions, really, really suffered. And so I just thank you all for being willing to take my statement again. I appreciate it.
So to reiterate that, Trisha, your question is, can ARP pay for Parkwood Apartments structural defects?
Yes.
Correct? Because
Yes,
we
ma'am.
will talk to the supervisor about this. Now, I know it's
Yeah.
very stringent on what we can spend this money on. And in fact, all the rules haven't been ironed out yet. We're
No.
still waiting on how we can spend this money. But I will definitely speak to Kevin, myself, and I'm sure Sherry Budd and also Clerk Wright will be having conversations about this. So thank you.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about it, but I'm not the expert, but I know Don probably know, but I wouldn't think that I've read over some of the category. I don't know if we can spend it on something that we don't own. So, you know, we can definitely put pressure on. We can put pressure on the owner
Homeowners, yeah.
to improve it, but I don't know if we can spend ARP funds. I'm pretty sure we can't on something that we don't own. So that would be the only problem with that. We can look at broadband, but to enhance services, but something that we don't actually own, I really don't see that being able to happen. The biggest piece will probably be for us to put pressure on them to fix the problem.
Right. And I'm sure you're right, Clerk, because one of the meetings we were in today was how we could use those funds. It's very spelled out, and those probably would, I can tell you for sure, they would not apply. But I was going to talk to the building department to see what they could do and make some kind of pressure on the guy that owns the building and see if he can't get some of those repairs taken care of. So that's the way I was going to go. But I do know those funds can't be sent for that.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
We hear you.
Okay.
But we do hear you, right?
Thank you so much. I appreciate
And
it.
Trish, I've heard from other people too. So just so you know, you're not the first person that brought a concern. I don't know if Treasury Bird remember a few years ago, we had another person that brought forth some issues also. So not the first.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The little portion of that video that I seen, and just knowing what I know about each of you, it's comforting to know that if we come to you, that you are listening. I'm telling you right now, there are many legislators that are not doing that. They don't care about us as a people. And I'm just grateful for your listening ear. And I hope that we can get some action against this. So thank you.
You're welcome, and we will try and see what we can do. All right, hearing no other comments, how about a motion to adjourn?
I make
So
a motion
moved.
to adjourn.
Support.
Okay, I have a
Support.
motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned at 7:10. Good night, everyone. Be kind and take care of one another.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Bless you.